Hello everyone, my name is Heidi Hastings. I'm one of your Microsoft Data Platform MVPs, and today I thought I would show you this cool technique where what do you do when the lights go out? And what I mean by that is what do you do when you have a lakehouse in a workspace that has a capacity where that capacity is off? Can you still access it? How do you access it? Now I want to give a shout out to my fellow Data Platform MVP, Martin Catherall, because he actually showed me this cool technique, and now I'm going to show it to you today. So you can see here we've got a number of workspaces. I'm going to go into workspace A. So within workspace A, I have a lakehouse. And this workspace is backed by this capacity. But I'll show you those settings just so you know that I'm not lying to you. So if we go into the workspace settings and license information, we can see when this loads that it'll be connected to this particular capacity on the right. So you see here we have the SE demo capacity, and that capacity is currently enabled. With it enabled, we're able to access the lakehouse and view the objects within it. So if we open up this lakehouse, we can now see that we have data and it's freely accessible both through the Explorer, and if we were to swap to the SQL endpoint, we would also be able to access it. If we now switch to another workspace, because this is where the magic happens, if we go to a second workspace called Workspace B, this is backed by a different capacity. So if I go into the settings here, you'll be able to see that this is actually backed by capacity B. Capacity B is also currently enabled, so we're able to access both of them freely using their independent capacities. So you can see here capacity B, same thing in the Azure portal, and it is currently enabled and running. If we go into Workspace B, I actually have a shortcut from Workspace B, the actual Lakehouse B, going to Lakehouse A in an entirely another workspace, entirely another capacity. So you can see here by the little link icon that this is a shortcut. And if I go in to manage the shortcut, we would see that this one is connected to my other Lakehouse in the other workspace. So we can see we're connected to the public holidays, and because this is a GUID, it's a really long name, but I can tell you that it is this one here. It is this same public holiday table in Lakehouse A. Now you can see that we're able to view the data with no problem. And if I swap to the SQL Analytica endpoint, we would also view it without a problem. If I now go back to that first capacity and pause it, that pause operation makes Lakehouse A unavailable. So I'll go ahead and pause it, give it a moment to process the pause operation. Once that's paused, I will refresh the browser and you'll see that the data is no longer accessible in the Lakehouse Explorer. We'll give that a moment to refresh. So you see now that it fails to load because its capacity is not available. Now, you may be thinking that this will also happen to the shortcut because the shortcut is trying to access this same data. However, this is the cool bit. If we go to that second lakehouse and we refresh it to make sure that we're looking at the most recent aspect, give that a moment to refresh. And we make sure we select the public holidays table because that's where our shortcut is. Now, initially, it thinks it can't load it, but you can see that it's able to load it. So the magic that's happening here is the capacity that's behind the Lakehouse B is able to use the compute operations of it to access the other Lakehouse's data. So where this comes into play for a lot of companies is they do a lot of heavy intensive ETL operations. They do all their data engineering work and storage in another workspace, but rather than leave that capacity on, costing them while it's on, they're able to turn off that and put it in pause, but still access that same data that's been processed for the day or for the week or for the hour, whatever the case may be. So you can see by using the shortcuts, it's the compute of where the shortcut is starting from and going to that is able to process the data and view it. So we can see that even though we've got the little X, we can actually get access to the data. And I'm just going to refresh it again so you can double confirm. And I'll refresh this one as well so you know that it's definitely not accessible from the first Lakehouse, but we can access it on the second one. Cool. So that's the cool demo I wanted to show for you today, the ability to use shortcuts. So even when the lights are out, even when someone turns off that capacity, you can use a shortcut from another workspace backed by another capacity to access that same data. Feel free to reach out to me on socials, follow me on social media, send me a message if you've got any questions. I'm more than happy to help, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you.
What a great conversation at the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference. Be sure to give this video a like and hit subscribe for more videos coming out of FabCon TV. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to register for the next FabCon, which will be in Atlanta in March 2026. Come join Patrick, myself, and all of the Microsoft folks. You can see a QR code on the screen right now. Scan that and use code FABATL to get $200 off of the registration. Thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and we'll see you in the next video.